I'm a no unless we separate out the debt ceiling. If you take the debt ceiling off the bill, I'm pretty much a yes on most of the rest of the bill.
But let's live in reality for a second. We're running $2 trillion deficits. If we follow the path of the House bill, we'll have close to, I think, $60 trillion worth of debt in 10 years. Okay? The American taxpayer has said they don't want to give us higher taxes. They don't like the taxes we have now. They're not giving us more money. What we've got to do is do what every family does. We've got to go through every line in the budget.
And that is Senator Rand Paul on Capitol Hill and Senator Rick Scott with me on Mornings with Maria this week, voicing concern with President Trump's big, beautiful bill, already passed by the House, currently in the Senate, which the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget says will add roughly $3 trillion to the national debt, including interest over the next decade. Both senators saying they cannot vote for this bill in its current form. And this weekend at the Reagan National Economic Forum, I spoke with J.P. Morgan Chase Chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon, who told me interest rates will spike and markets will get disrupted once investors realize the impact of rising debt levels. Watch. How much are you focused on debt and deficits right now?
It's a big deal. You know, it is a real problem, but one day we're going to have the bond market's going to have a tough time. I don't know if it's 6 months or 6 years.
What do you mean bond market will crack? What does that mean?
But the public has to understand is that something like $30 trillion of securities trades every day. These are investors around the world. Foreigners own $35 trillion of American securities. They have, another $30 trillion of private investments in the United States or something like that in the United States. People vote with their feet. And they're going to be looking at the country, the rule of law, the inflation rates, the central bank policies, what they want to hedge and what they don't want to hedge. And so those rates aren't set by central banks. They can affect them. If people decide that the U.S. dollar isn't the place to be, yeah, you could see, spreads gap out, credit spreads gap out, and that will become a problem. We had that during COVID. The Fed properly stepped in then. We had that in 2019. We had it in 2020. It will happen again.
And the rest of that interview tomorrow morning on Fox Business, as my next guest is voicing a similar sentiment, calling for a return to pre-pandemic spending levels and looking to separate the president's agenda into two bills with some of the president's campaign promises, such as no tax on tips, Social Security, and overtime, dealt with in a second bill later in the year. Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, thanks so much for being here. Have you been able to identify more areas to cut?
Good morning, Maria. Well, first of all, let me say I'm a big supporter of President Trump. I know Rand Paul is. I know Rick Scott is. We all want to see him succeed. But at the same time, I sprang out of the Tea Party movement, campaigning in 2010, doing parades, shouting, "This is a fight for freedom. We're mortgaging our children's future. It's wrong. It's immoral. It has to stop." We were $14 trillion in debt then. Now we're $37 trillion. And I think what is disappointing to me about the debate that went through the House, if you even call it that, we weren't looking at the facts and figures. The only figure we ever heard about was $1.5 trillion. Sounds like a lot, but when you put it in context of the $89 trillion we're going to spend over the next 20 years, the $22 trillion in additional deficit we're going to incur, that's $2.2 trillion per year deficit. It's completely unsustainable. I agree with Jamie Dimon here. This is something we have to take a look at. So, again, from my standpoint, I want to see the president succeed. I want to take a tax increase, an automatic tax increase off the table as soon as possible. All this could have been done. The border funding, take an automatic tax increase off the table. I think we have to deal with the debt ceiling. But, again, I don't want to just do $5 trillion. I'm happy to give the president, increase the debt ceiling for 1 year, so we can come back and get serious about returning to a pre-pandemic level spending, because right now, based on the House bill, it doesn't look like anybody is.
Well, Senator, with all due respect, I'm still not hearing any solutions. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but somebody at home who's critical of what you're saying might say, well, this is rich, given the fact that the House already identified $1.5 trillion in cuts, and all I heard from the Senate was $4 billion in cuts. I know that there's the Byrd rule, and that's technical, but still, what are the solutions? Again, have you identified any areas to cut?
Well, exactly like Rick Scott talked about, you go line by line. And again, I've laid out all the variances of how much we're spending today that exceeds 2019, plussed up for population growth and inflation. So you literally have to go through a couple thousand lines of the federal budget, probably hundreds of lines beneath each one of those lines. You have to take the time and do it. DOE shows how to do it. Contract by contract, line by line. Rick Scott did that as governor of Florida. He'd be great on a budget review panel. I proposed that. So again, this would be not an across the board as some basic percentage, but an across the board forensic audit of all government spending. You have to do it. We didn't do the work. We did it the same old way. We exempted most spending, looked at a couple of programs, tweaked them, tried to get a CBO score, talked about what seemed to be a big number, but a number that is completely inadequate. It doesn't meet the moment. Again, $22 trillion, and that's on the low side, Maria. You've got interest rate risk. That CBO estimate assumes we're going to increase taxes by about $4 trillion. Now, we can argue over, okay, if you increase taxes, they probably wouldn't get that amount. You still have to account for that $4 trillion if you don't increase taxes. So, again, we are facing a moment here where we've had an unprecedented level of spending increase from 2019, 58% to over $7 trillion. And it's just, we should have returned to pre-pandemic level spending in 2021. Joe Biden didn't do that. He averaged $1.9 trillion worth of the deficits. Obama in his last 4 years averaged $550 billion. I mean, that is, again, you have to put all these numbers. I'm working on a report right now, doing all the work. Hope to have a complete the 2025 budget reconciliation facts and figures. I hope to hold a hearing within the next couple of weeks, certainly before we take any votes on this.
Are you willing to take this so far as to blow up President Trump's agenda and lose the re-election in 2026?
Absolutely not. No, I want to see him succeed. But again, my loyalty is to the American people, to my kids and grandkids. We cannot continue to mortgage their future. The transfer of wealth from old people like me to young people is literally immoral. What's been happening, it has to stop. And this is our only moment. Again, it's been unprecedented level spending. There's no justification for $4.4 to $7 trillion in just 6 years. Getting back to a reasonable pre-pandemic level, you do it line by line by line. Listen, I think the House has done a lot of good work. We should take on that. We should expand on it. But again, we're not going to have the time. Nobody's been willing to take the time or do the work to go line by line. Again, Rick Scott has the experience in Florida. Take a look at how successful he was at reducing spending, balancing his budget, and then giving tax cuts to Floridians.
You've said a number of times that you want to get back to pre-pandemic spending. Let me get your take, Senator. What specifically will it take in terms of the number of cuts? How much cutting do you need to do to get back to pre-pandemic spending?
My guess there'd probably be hundreds and thousands of cuts line by line. Again, you go back to Bill Clinton in 1998, we actually had a surplus. Obama 2014, Trump in 2019. You leave Social Security, Medicare, and interest alone, spend what you need to spend, plus up all those actual outlays by population growth and inflation, you end up with a baseline budget somewhere between $5.5 and $6.5 trillion. You know, Senate budget, when we passed our budget reconciliation, we picked a midpoint about $6 trillion. That's a reasonable baseline to start from. How many times have you heard members of Congress say you need to go return to zero-based budgeting? I'm not even proposing that. I'm saying let's go back to a 5.5 to $6.5 trillion baseline based on actual outlays. I don't think we spent too little under Clinton, under Obama, or under Trump. Go back to those baselines, plus up what you need to plus up. Maybe eliminate what people wouldn't even notice if you eliminate it.
Will you be able to do this? Do you think this is doable by the end of July and get the bill passed?
Yeah, if we split this thing into two parts, border defense, take what spending cuts that we've already identified, bank those, extend current tax law, take an automatic tax increase off the table, increase the debt ceiling for about a year. By the way, that'll be a shocking amount, about $2.5 trillion just to get us into March of 2026. That ought to tell people we better fix this.
Senator, great to have you. Thanks for walking us through it. We so appreciate your work. Senator Ron Johnson. Thank you, sir.
Have a great day.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.